Entonces me dice que sí, que efectivamente nosotros tenemos.
Jaime went to Ukraine because his son asked him why the war was happening, and he did not know how to answer. With the help of the Altius Foundation, Jaime and a friend took turns driving a van full of humanitarian supplies for 31 hours from Spain to the city of Lviv. Their idea was to cross the border to hand-deliver the goods to a local priest with the help of the army. When they arrived, however, they found the worst.
Cuando llegamos nos enteramos de que media hora antes habíamos.
When we arrived, we found out that half an hour before they had bombed the city. You can't imagine the chaos we saw at the border. Secret police everywhere, drones, people missing. It was a disaster first thing in the morning. I had never experienced anything like that. Everyone is confused. The situation is overwhelming. People walking down the street with suitcases, young children alone.
Despite the disaster of the bombing, Jaime insisted on personally delivering the shipment to the priest. He wanted to make sure nothing was lost. Currently, men under 60 are not allowed to leave Ukraine. Fortunately, the priest is older, and with the help of another civilian, they drove a military van to meet Jaime and his friend at the border. There, the priest asked them to take 2 children, a boy and girl, to Spain for safety. He was very worried that the girl would fall into the hands of the mafia and end up in prostitution.
Él nos pide que por favor no perdamos sobre todo.
He begs us not to let this little girl out of our sight until she arrives home with her family and asks that we be very careful in Europe. Then they go on to tell you about the women. I asked why he was so persistent about taking care of his grandniece. That's when you realize that they are mafias taking women and confiscating their documents.
The trip back to Spain was difficult and the children were very scared traveling with 2 strangers. But now they are safe and sound with their relatives in Spain.
Lo que más me ha costado de todo. Uno ha sido.
What I found the most difficult was that the priest had given us these kids who were totally lost, completely in shock. At first I thought that the children didn't know how to speak English because we couldn't communicate with them. It turns out that the children were just in shock, so they couldn't speak, and they've been like that for a day and a half.
Recalling the trip brings back so many emotions for Jaime. Yet, despite the tragedies he saw, he says he wants to send a message of hope.
Allí lo que yo sí respiré fue mucha.
What I took from the trip was the humanity that I saw from people around the world. I met people from all countries, of all colors, all sizes, all types, volunteers. We brought a person from Spain who stayed there in Ukraine to help in the NGOs. One of the most beautiful things I rediscovered is that I have my family, friends, and day-to-day circle to help me set alarms at night or to call me on the phone so that we can stay awake together.
Though Jaime has seen the destruction of war, he says that with the help of others, it is possible to overcome its horrors.